Hello, hey, hi everybody, social media family, and visitors to my own personal chat room and or channel. How are you all doing? Well, hopefully everyone is feeling much better than what I myself been that my personal feeling like as of the present given moment in time. I mean, words cannot explain. I mean, really now. Some people or persons, like this one particular proverbial neighbor from hell or public nuisance a problem neighbor. I know. I can relate to you all. I understand. You're probably getting sick and tired of hearing this. Does it sound like a broken record? And I agree because I'm getting sick and tired of hearing myself talk about this here, being that because the same the said individual person of a character in question and likewise of the former previous or prior mentioned, is still acting like an effing idiot and or sicko, not to mention likewise as well all the same creep, because misery loves company for the miserable dinosaur turd of a male character as his poop butt pissant punk faggoty or possibly worse yet, closet faggot ass is. I'm sorry, I'm just feeling so out of it. Excuse my language, pardon my French. But as you know, we're in the day and age of this global pandemic, whereas there's an increase of idiots and crackpots of the likes of his stupid and sick ass, same crazy MFer, as well as, stupid SOB bastard still attempting to give me the business because misery loves company as he's stuck on stupid himself. And as we living in this day and age, not only of the global pandemic, being which has repeated itself, whereas there was one about a century ago, it's probably the same one that just had took on a different form, is it? I don't know, or evolved. And as we're living in these biblically prophetic times, and stupid does as stupid feels, you know, especially if stupid and likewise sick of a character as that being is also demon possessed. Yeah, when I brought it to my landlord today, she give me the impression as if she thinks I'm the problem, you know. I guess for the many times I have complained, stated my grievances in one regard or another, bringing it to her about the public nuisance of problem neighbor, idiot, and or sicko, and as well as I have made contact with the police, as in dialing emergency number 911 to call them about this here problem, being of some or such as it is of rather extenuating circumstances of a case or situation up under these conditions with the same old, with this one neighbor. He himself goes out of the old year and coming to the new year with the same old crazy effing nonsense, or effing BS, effing nonsense, or whatever I say. I can't even get my words together as much as I would like to at this late hour. And I don't like to dwell on the negative. I'm a positive person regardless of how somebody else wants to attempt to, you know, take me hostage to their rather twisted, warped, wicked, faggoty, or possibly worse yet, he could be a closet faggot with his mindset being as it is, you know, really sick MF, rather stupid effing idiot. SOB bastard. He's a crazy, I really want to say crazy motherfucker, but I must remember not to employ the usages of those alternative expletives of profanity or alternative cuss words, being of which are not mentioned in God's word compared to some of such other ones like bastard. He's really stupid and sick bastard. You know. Well, I could say there's a variation or derivative or so of that other word by saying he's a really stupid and sick MF or an effing idiot. Why can't we all just get along, you know? Really now. I mean, for me to have moved here as I had done or did, only to be bothered with the same kind of dickhead prick, excuse my former French. I mean, wow, that's like defeating the very reason on purpose for me having moved here in the first place to get away from another dickhead prick of the likes of this kind. It's still another building address location, you know? I mean, here it is. I moved to this one building. I'm like saying, finally, I got away from that dinosaur turd piece of shit or shithead of another neighbor license. Kind of sorry about that, but then let me rephrase it. I got away from that damn stupid and sick crazy alpha or stupid and sick crazy effing idiot SOB bastard. Now maybe, just maybe, I could finally pick up the pieces of my life and get more peace of mind once again. I want to find out. Oh no. Here we go again. Same old, coming from the same likes of his kind that I had moved from at the old building or the building in the past, only to come here to the present one, which is supposed to be the new building for myself, whereas I was hoping to get closure and begin a new chapter in my life. Only have to be bothered with the same old effing BS. And then to add insult to injury, whereas the landlord, she is like saying in more words less, but then check out the footnotes. It's describing what I'm saying now in more words less for the content of this here social media broadcast video, man. She is like saying, you know, well, he says that it's not him. Maybe it's the other neighbors, you know, there are other buildings. I mean, there's other. See, I can't even get my words together. Think about all this crazy FBS that he has put me through for the longest, you know, make my life a living damn hell upon a daily and nightly basis with all the, you know, stupid, sick, sadistic, rude, or ignorant, insane, and impolite, extreme incessant noises he makes a different source, you know, type. But anyway, she's like saying, he claims that it's not him. I mean, it could be some of the other neighbors on his floor, is what I mean to say, within the building here, as we have it, of a public facility at this given address location. Well, she didn't exactly put in those very word, but I'm like paraphrasing, you know, not quite exactly. And then I tell her about how somebody was walking upon the balcony of the fire escape, you know, most recently, you know. And you know what she goes and says to me from there? Of all the, I mean, talk about that, and she said, are you sure it wasn't you out there walking on? I'm like, what? Are you freaking kidding me? What did I just tell you? Was I speaking English or not? Not a foreign language? I mean, you really want to go there? Seriously, though? You know? So that just confirm or verify my suspicion right there that it's like she thinks I'm the problem. Then because I had complained about this character so many times. I mean, what was I supposed to do? I mean, that's what I'm supposed to do, like, right? Go through all the proper policies and procedures or protocol, you know, to address the issue in a legit, legal, sensible kind of way. Then to think that this cocksucker, I mean, not only have I from time to time, you know, complained to the management building, a.k.a. landlord, but also to the police as I dial emergency number 911 for them, or the cops to simply say, to think that after I called them about him, you know, and whereas I heard a knock on my door after that, whereas they were supposed to talk to him and then left. And I'm thinking maybe it's the police or the cops again. Maybe they want to ask me some further questions. Guess who it turns out to be? It's him. This one neighbor from hell, cocksucker, a public nuisance problem neighbor. And he's like saying, I would appreciate it if you didn't call the police or the cops. And I'm thinking, I bet you would have. Yeah, I would have appreciated if you just brought it to me. And I said, sir, I have nothing to say to you. Like, please get away from my apartment door, or I will call for the police or the cops again. I have nothing to say to you. You know, then the same night when I told him that, what do I hear again? Same old crazy ass shit. I mean, crazy FBS, we phrase that. Same old crazy ass noises of different sorts of types of an extreme and excessive nature. You know, and then whereas the landlord, at one time or another, when I brought it back to her, how I called the police on him, where she like saying, you know, Well, you didn't tell me that. And then she goes to find out from him, and he says, no police knocked on my door. And I'm like saying, you're a lying bastard. I called the police, and they supposed to have went to your apartment to find out what's your damn problem. I'm thinking in my head, he's a damn lying bastard. Then where she's like saying in more words or less from there all the same. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if she just fabricating some stuff or this supposed to actually have happened. She's saying, well, certain neighbors have complained about you. I'm saying, what? I don't know why, because I'm not the problem, I'm not saying, but all the while I'm thinking in my head, then if they could hear me, what this is supposed to be supposedly over my bicycle or bike, and I'm like on another level floor of the building. I'm like saying, well, if they could hear me coming into the building or coming into my apartment with a bike, then how come they can't hear him? Huh? Are they deaf or what? All that crazy ass noise that he be making, the different sorts of types of crazy noises, boom, 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 goose stepping, dropping things on the floor, dragging things across the floors, bouncing things off the walls and ceilings, banging on the pipes, running water, all that crazy effing BS. And on a regular basis, he takes that into the midnight hour and goes past it, into the wee hours of the night. It's funny that he's not doing some such at the moment, Ain't that a blip? Probably because the heat is turned up from the many complaints, and especially with my person having most recently called the police on. But then he did carry on the other night, that much I do know, And that same night when I called the police, after I refused to talk to him, then I'm only hearing the same old crazy effing BS, What in the world is going on? Is there something in the air or something in the water or what? Like I said, we living in this global pandemic of existence. There's a whole lot more crazy people or crazy persons upon the increase, as well as effing idiots, And whereas at one time, when I went to the business office of the management, as in a.k.a. landlord, I hear somebody coming down in the elevator to her floor at ground level, and I'm so busy focused on waiting for her to come to the business office door to address my complaint, or in order to find out what's to be done about my apartment rental lease, and whereas for a number of days I had been trying to take care of that necessary business, and she has been dragging her, like she had been dragging her whatchamacallit, like as if she thinks I'm the problem now. And I get it. I'm under the impression that she does think just that, because when she had said, when I told her about somebody on the balcony of the fire escape, and she was like saying, are you sure it's not you? So they tell me right there, in addition to some of such other signs I'm getting in regard to her, coming from her, whereas, if she were not to have taken the coward's way out and assumed that I'm the problem much rather than him, maybe she could look into these matters much more thoroughly. But getting back to some of such, so as I'm at her business office door, I hear somebody coming down to her floor level in the elevator, like one or two, and like when I decide to go around the corner and look, all of a sudden whoever was coming down goes back up. So I'm wondering if that was him, spying on me. He wanted, because at one time or another he knocks on my door. He wanted to talk to me personally. I'm saying, I'm not talking to you. Like he wanted to see who I am that's complaining about him, And he could have possibly has seen or saw who I was after coming down in the elevator, creeping like he was, like I suspected was him, like what he was doing, and then go back up. Don't because he figured I'm coming around the corner to see who it is, Because I peeked through my peephole and I saw this character, and he wanted to talk to me personally so he could see who I am, but I refused that because, for obvious reasons or purposes, being of which is a no-brainer, as in self-explanatory, as well as it would go without saying. What I mean say self-explanatory, meaning it would go without saying, as well as it would go double or triple to be said. What I mean say, sorry about that. Like I said, it's a rather late hour and I can't get my words together like I really want to that much more, but I think you all get the general idea from what I have been saying for the longest, So he hightails it back elsewhere in the elevator because he didn't want me to see him. I wasn't able to get the chance to see who it was coming down the elevator. It just happened that quick. So I figured it was him. So this is what I'm having to deal with, at this building at this location. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, for me to move here and then possibly have to move once again, that defeats the purpose for me. The reason on purpose, but the reason and or purpose, not just not just purpose. I can't get my words together, but that defeats the reason and purpose for me having moved in the first place. I'm like wondering, do I have some kind of sign on my back? Somebody please tell me whether or not I do have some kind of invisible sign on my back that attracts these kind of crazies or crackpots, creeps, and idiots or neighbors like him that says, go ahead and attempt to give me the business, being because you get a rush from doing so, regardless of whether or not you are a drunk or a hype or a combination of some or such, or especially if you are. Do I have a sign on my back? Somebody, please tell me, be you black or white. Please tell me if I have a sign, invisible sign on my back, and tell me how I can get it off of me. Because I'm not wanting all this attention coming from the likes of a neighbor from hell like he himself is. And evidently, obviously, he must be some kind of a faggoty, or worse yet, closet faggot. I mean, if he's going all out his way to get my attention, I can see if it was little kids carrying on, but then it would just go to show that they have a lack of home training and it's bad reflection on their parents. But this is a grown adult person carrying on every day and every night, weekdays, weeknights, weekends, including for holidays, the same old, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I have to yell within my apartment, hey, could you cut the crap out, man? That's a violation of your apartment rental lease, as well as it disrespects my rights and privileges as your fellow neighbor of a resident or tenant. Are you serious, man? I mean, what planet do you think you're on? The earth to somebody. Cut the crap, man. You're throwing a monkey wrench in my sleeping patterns, etc. He has been causing me to wake up late on a consecutive daily basis once again. I woke up late today. Half the day was gone. I couldn't believe it. Some days it's like practically half the day is gone. Then other days like possibly half the day is gone, or actually half the day has gone from me. I'm like, are you kidding me? He give me a lullaby at night as well as he gives me a wake up call in the morning. The very minute I wake up, I hear him at it again, attempting to push my emotional buttons. So he had me off to the races, and then from there to add insult to injury, to attempt to validate his nonsense, to attempt to make it seem like I'm the problem than him. But then for the landlord to say what she had said to me today, well, actually yesterday, because it's a new day now. It's like a little after 12 midnight. My bedtime hour was supposed to be 11, regardless of the neighbor from hell, cocksucker of a what you call psychopath, sociopath, sadomasochist, sadist, cowardly bully, and or terrorist-wannabe, effing idiot sicko who reminds me of male characters in some of these psychodrama movie flicks like Psycho and Silence of the Lambs, and as he acts like he's like the black sheep of their family or something. So that really got to me when the landlord, she was saying to me in more words left when I had informed about somebody on the balcony of the fire escape. The fire escape is right outside my washroom window. And at one time, my washroom window was unlocked, and I don't leave it unlocked at night. So that tells me somebody had trespassed. It took them to spook me that much more. And I had to go to a hospital, then possibly do follow up at a clinic, and thinking that somebody could have violated my person in a physical way. Got kind of freaky with me. Make sure I didn't contract some of the nasties, to be compared on to a gay pedophile Catholic priest vamping upon a choir boy for a local vicinity area neighborhood community parish, that one was scoped and then stalked before vamping, preying upon one. But anyway, so yeah, Wes, I tell the landlord about how most recently I heard somebody on a fire escape And then for her to tell me, you sure it wasn't you? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Did I just hear this come out your mouth? Did you actually say that? Did you literally actually say that? No, I'm thinking from there. Oh, well, they just tell me right there. You think that I'm the problem, isn't it? Isn't that what you think? I thought to bring it to her like that, but I said, no, I'm just going to leave it alone. Because that really pissed me off to think that here it is after the effing BS that I had to shit, let me phrase, effing BS that I have put up with come from this one neighbor from hell, dickhead, shithead, piece of, that is, let me phrase that again, dickhead, prick full of lungs with his crazy ass. And then she says something like that. I'm like, what? Then you verify, confirm my suspicion that you're taking the coward's way out to investigate my stated grievances, my complaints about this one neighbor from hell, idiot and or sicko. Did you really say that? I mean, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, tell me you didn't say that. Like, right? Was I was I not speaking English and American dialect and telling you about this one neighbor, and now you think I'm the problem? Like she's getting lazy about doing her job, about investigating complaints about some or such, like come from one neighbor about another neighbor. So she's like, well, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of hearing about this one neighbor complaining, so often, we get this other neighbor that he's complaining about hasn't complained about him. Why should he complain about me? You know, I mean, if he's the perpetrator and if he were to complain, his words would backfire on him, then because he's the cocksucker that's causing me problems. And he would have to tell a lie to cover a lie. And for him to say that the cops didn't knock on his door is a bold-faced lie, because I had called them over the weekend and sent them to his apartment. I just unfortunately did not think at that given moment in time with a mind's intentions to file a police report. So that kind of worked against me, because I was so upset to think that he would go at it again with his usual daily and nightly routine. So it slipped my memory to do so. Hopefully I would remember if I have to place a emergency 911 call to them again, being the police or cops. Well, hopefully not so much as on short notice at the moment, because of the very reason and purpose that I say this here for the last is been because here it is, the landlord gives me an ultimatum. She's like saying the more words or less. I tell you what, okay, you have quite a few options. I could give you the chance as it is to be made available onto you to, so I'm paraphrasing my quote exactly, putting it in my own words, to move to another apartment in the building here, whichever one's available for you to choose from, or you could opt for this. You could opt for this option of still another alternative, being of which is to just move out the building altogether, move elsewhere. I'm not saying I don't have any money for moving expenses, as well as I don't have any money to pay rent elsewhere at the present. So that's not really an option. And then there's the third option, being of which is to just get my present place, a residence or apartment together for the ultimatum of how she's supposed to come through here per scheduled date appointment to check out my place to see if it meets the standards for me to continue living here per arrangement as a resident or tenant. Like she's using another means to attempt to, what is it, kick me to the curb, and because she wants to take the coward's way out about investigating this other neighbor, being up whom I have been complaining about for the longest. And where if she were to really investigate, doing more thorough investigation, we wouldn't be having this here problem between ourselves now about how she's giving me ultimatums or options, being of this one and that one. And whereas the fourth one would be just to take her to court, you know. So that's like you would think would well, anyway though, it would be just as much of a a mental challenge or brain teaser for her. As well as me. I mean, she is so lazy or so frustrated with reading about my complaints and of stated grievances in letter form, as well as hearing about it in word form, from her superiors or supervisors. Because I don't have to put up with this, And I'd be like thinking from there, God, hopefully I can get a white landlord, next time around, then because she's black, right? So hopefully I get a white landlord next time around, because I don't have to make this shit up. I mean, excuse my language. I don't have to make this F and B stuff. She's not here in the evening, okay? She's not even doing a thorough job of investigating my complaints or stated grievance about the noise he make in the daytime, So what the fuck does she know? I mean, what the F does she know about what the F I'm having to go through with this damn dickhead prick of a stupid little dumb cough and a sicko that acts like he himself is attempting to drive me completely bonkers or make me stark raving mad, always attempting to push my emotional button with all the extreme excessive noises of different sorts of types that he makes daily and nightly. She's not here. Neither or nor is her co-worker or a co-employee or subordinate or whoever that other black sister is to her. She's not here when he's carrying on like so, acting like he done lost his damn rabbit ass marbles altogether and rabbit ass mind altogether completely or entirely. She's not here when he carry on. It's one thing when he makes all that noise, and it's another when he be like creeping, and I be wondering, does he creeps as much or rather, possibly worse yet, be creeping that much more at still other times compared to the times he be making all that ridiculously ignorant, insane, and impolite, those ridiculously ignorant, insane, and or impolite noises or stupid, sick, sadistic, rude noises of an extreme excessive nature, in one regard or another, a different source or type. She's not here during the nighttime hours. So what the damn F would she know about that? So if she's like pissed at hearing my complaints, then put yourself in my shoes. Then how much more I am pissed to have to become subjected to experiencing all this nonsense coming from a certain neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Coming from a certain neighbor. You know what I'm saying? A real cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, as well as an idiot. A real sicko, I'm like, what have I ever done to deserve all this, God? I know at times I play the part of the devil's advocate, unless to have been a problem with somebody. I have never really picked at anybody or bothered anybody. If I ever given somebody the business of a supposed or so-called enemy, well, it all depends on how I feel about it. Depending on how I look, that matters, be it from a human point of view or a believer's point of view. But then I never really have, if I have given anybody the business, it would only been because they deserved it after having made me become subjected to experiencing some or such nonsense coming from them, or after they had done me wrong, to put it in layman's terms, to simply say, So I'm like, what? Are you serious? I'm looking at the landlord. Are you serious? You think I'm the problem? Huh? And then when she said what she did about in regard to the fire escape, where she was saying the more was less. Are you sure that wasn't you up on the fire escape? I'm like, what? I'm like, huh? Say that again. Do you think you could repeat yourself? What? Do I think that it's not? Do I think that am I sure that it's not me? I mean, I don't know who may have told you what about me and so forth, but then if I'm such a effing idiot and crazy or crackpot or crank, then just think how much more than the idiot or crazy or crackpot or crank that's attempting to drive me crazy or make me crazier is crazier than me, being of whom he himself is attempting to drive me completely bonkers or stark raving mad or make me crazy or crazier than what I could already feel like enough as it after having been bothered with a crazy crackpot crank and a creep like him at the last building address location I was at, only to come here to my present place of residence for this building address location to be bothered with the same likes of his kind and him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, are you kidding me? Was I the one on? Why would I tell you somebody was on the fire escape? Huh? I mean, how would that benefit me? You know, how would that benefit me to constantly tell you about the neighbor from hell, crackpot or crank? You know, especially if you're not doing anything about it. Then I guess you say, well, if we're not doing anything about it, then why keep complaining to us? That's why most recently I ignored the option to complain, you know, because I get to thinking from there, sure enough, as I suspect, said eventually, seeing how they're not doing anything about it like they could, they said they're going to look into it, but they don't, you know, eventually after a while, she herself is just going to get frustrated with my complaints and then take the coward's way out and blame me for something that the neighbor from hell has started in the first place. And sure enough, that's what happened. That is exactly what happened, you know. Oh, I'm sick and tired of hearing about all the negativity. Oh, the neighbor from hell is doing this. The neighbor from hell is probably the problem neighbor. Oh, please, no more. My eardrums, you're hurting my eardrums. I don't want to hear anymore, you know. I just want to live in La La Land on another planet, even if it's the planet Earth somewhere, whereas, you know, I don't have much to frustrate me. We're living in the real world. Deal with it. I mean, I'm going to tell you, if I'm having problems with this one neighbor, then if I were to move from here, the next neighbor is going to have a problem with this same neighbor that's been causing me problems, you know. Okay. I mean, if I knew that this building was going to be like this here, with certain neighbors of the like this kind, remind me of neighbors like of the like this kind elsewhere, I wouldn't move into this shithole in the first damn place. Excuse my apartment friend, but yeah, I think you all get the joint of what I'm trying to say. You know, just to be bothered with some more crazy shit. I mean, F and BS, some such coming from this one dickhead prick, nutcase, crackpot, crank, and an idiot. You know, I'm like, hell damn no. Because when I had moved from the last building at location, been bothered with the license count, I said, oh, praise the Lord, finally. Maybe I can pick up the pieces of my life as I was saying before. So I say again, or as I was stating for the records, so I do now, you know. So maybe I can pick up the pieces of my life and maybe I could get that peace of mind that I had more or less before, you know, for whatever reason or purpose I had to move in and there because the building changed hands and then the landlord wanted more money, you know, and that would have been cool to stay where I was at than be, you know, that is for another place rather than before I moved to some such old one and then been involved with a crackpot like where I'm at now after moving here, after moving from there to get away from a crackpot like him elsewhere at the old building address location I was at on the move here to the new one, be bothered with the same kind of character. Really, man. So I'm like, what? I'm like, seriously though, do you really think, you know, I mean, I'm telling you that there was somebody on the fire escape, and now you're asking me the question, are you sure that was not you on the fire escape? I'm like, are you serious? You really want to go there? Are you serious? Is this what your thoughts are in regard to me? I'm going through all the proper policies and procedures to state my grievances, to put in complaints about this one neighbor, and that's how you want to deal with it, taking the coward's way out. You know, well, are you afraid of him? Does he have something on you, like some dirt or something that I don't know about that maybe I should know about? Are you involved in some kind of pyramid scheme or what? Or you working hand in hand with? Then she told me herself that somebody stole a machine out of the laundry room. Not the vending machine for snack, but this other machine. Whereas for this here building, it doesn't take quarters for the washer and dryers, but rather takes a plastic card. And you have to put money on that plastic card. Somebody stole that particular sort of type of vending machine from the laundry room, and not just for the first time. This make the second time that this has happened most recently. You know, really now. So this what kind of shithole this building is. I mean, let me rephrase it. This what kind of hellhole this building is. Certain neighbors terrorizing and traumatizing other neighbors. This is one of the craziest buildings that I ever did live in. The spooks that sit by the door, as well as midnight cowboys, neighbors that bar with other neighbors' apartment doors, stealing the packages, stealing the partial packages come from UPS, possibly stealing the U.S. postal mail, and then somebody stealing the machine out of the laundry room, all that kind of crazy crap. Somebody actually come behind me at one time, after I opened up the back door to the building, whereas there's a back door and there's a front door, and whereas I would come in the back door mainly with my bike being a cut for the front door. You have to come through two doors before you can enter into the building, whereas the back door you only come through one. And the very minute I open up the back door, somebody just that quick right behind me. And I'm wondering if that could be like one of the likes of some of such of the rank and file, the criminal element attempting to get into the building. So they could be like perpetrating, because he had a partner with him, and at first it was at the front door of the building. The very minute I come to the back door and open it up, then one of two of them comes right behind me. The very minute I open the door, just that quick. And I had told the landlord about it. And I'm wondering if she holding that against me as well as some of such other. It's like I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't do the right thing. So that's where I'm at the moment, social media family, peeps and folks, social media family, and as well visitors to my own personal chat room and the channel, and life, like war, is damn hell, especially when you have to be involved with the nutcases, the demon possessed characters that I have to be involved with in this building. Nutcases, crackpots, cranks, and all idiots, I mean, what is going on in the world? Is there something in the air and in the water? Well, there is, more than likely, if you look at it from one point of view, it's not enough with the global pandemic. But I'm wondering, is there something in the water as well? Is what I meant to say. I was saying, has the water of Michigan got this here way to Illinois? Because people, person have been acting really crazy, that much more lately. Here and there, and for premises and properties of mass transits, of public transportation systems, as well as for atmospheres or places of businesses, facilities, be it public or private, only to have to be bought with some such the same kind of craziness or similar so craziness in the building where I'm at now. I'm paying annual monthly rent, and then the landlord is acting like it's as if I'm the problem, Okay. Then I'm kind of sick and tired of talking about this shit, like right about now. I'm about to close. I mean, let me phrase that, this F and BS, because I'm a mellow person, and a positive one, I don't like a whole lot of drama in a negative way. Who does? I don't even like the least bit of it, Then it'd be seeming like somebody be like sabotage my general physical health. Time I'd be like waking up in the morning, feeling aches and pain, where it should be feeling some of a sudden. Then at one time I noticed something on my body and I was like, what in the world? How did that happen? I don't remember cutting myself or anything like that, because I didn't. I mean, I'm in recovery at the moment, you know. At one time or another, I relapsed most recently so far as the drinking of intoxicating alcoholic beverages and smoking on my drug of choice being reefer, but I since got back on the bandwagon recovery. That was only being because a loved one of an elderly senior citizen a relative of mine had passed, being one of the matriarchs of maternal head for my own immediate personal family household. And after having had about a couple few or 2 or 3 years of sobriety up on my belt, then that's when I had relapsed, and partly being that because mainly or mostly it could possibly not just not just no not just maybe I mean what I mean say it could have probably been because and just possibly is what I meant to say, because there's one neighbor from damn hell, a public news problem neighbor dickhead prick that really was the the trigger for me to go back to having to that having to have read that having to think that I had to do that to have live to once again live my life in the bottle and in the pipe. Before I got back on the bandwagon recovering. Whereas before then, was I have had a couple few years of sobriety for this recovery. Now I only have like a couple few months, give or take. No, I have from a couple few months to about a quarter of a year sobriety now. Ain't that a blip? So this is where I'm at now, dealing with the same crazy MF for attempting to drive me completely nuts, completely bonkers, with his sick ass, with his sick as well as stupid ass, stupid does and stupid feels, Then for the landlord to say something so stupid when I told about somebody being on a fire escape to say, "Are you sure that wasn't you on a fire escape?" Like, are you effing kidding me? I'm saying, I'm thinking from that. Are you effing kidding me? Seriously though. All this time I've been telling you about this neighbor, and now you're like thinking that I'm the problem. You're this neighbor that's been attempting to drive me completely bonkers with all his crazy effing BS, and now you want to ask me a stupid and sick question like that. Am I sure that I wasn't the one that was on that fire escape? Like, what? Oh hell, damn no. You think that if I could get a white landlord for another building, if I could get everything arranged, and then if the landlord put it to me like this, well, it don't matter, or whatever race of landlord that would be much more reasonable minded, especially for the white landlord, and say and explain to this white landlord, be it a he or she, and then where one can say, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that." Well, anyway, though, come and look over whatever unit that we have and see if you like anything, and then we can get the ball rolling. Just go take care of the necessary business with the agency or organization that you're affiliated with. So far, dealing with housing, and we should be good to go. Then I'd be like, man, fuck this damn shithole. I'm sick and tired of this shit and all these fucking crazy ass shitheads in this fucking building of the likes of this one dickhead prick shithead ass piece of shit to drive me completely fucking crazy, like his fucking crazy ass is completely out of his fucking head, You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but I had to say it then and there. Disregard what you heard in the background. It's just some more of these crazy motherfuckers. Like to bar with other neighbors' apartment doors. Shit. Man, if I could just be so lucky or blessed to get a white landlord, a white landlord for another building at its location, I'd be like practically, possibly ready to tell this black landlord if I would have found me a spot like that. Here's something for you. Seeing how you didn't believe what I was saying about the neighbor from hell shithead. You don't believe me and you want to insult the injury, but I already told you and gone through all the proper policies and the procedures to let you know that this crazy motherfucker is attempting to drive me completely. That was his crazy ass just now, what you heard. Yeah, that was his crazy ass. Social media family and a visitor to my chat room. That was his crazy ass. Same old crazy shit that he does every damn day and every damn night. Making like the real life Bam Bam Rubbles of the Fred Flintstone cartoon franchise, vintage classic pop culture series, sitcom, television production, and of the not so friendly sort of type compared to the, cartoon male character of Bam Bam Rubbles of the Flintstone franchise. That was his crazy ass. That was him. Yeah. See the shit I had to put up with. That was his crazy ass. Just what you heard just now. I rest my case. I mean, it just not that I mean to sound like a doubting Thomas, but at times like these, I mean, I'm a believing God. Don't get me wrong, but it get me to think about what Edith Bunker was like saying. Edith Bunker, the female character in one of these Archie Bunker, that All in the Family television's comedy episode, where she was like saying when her friend passed, she was like saying to her husband Archie, the white boy that played the part of Archie, was like saying, sometimes I wonder whether or not there is a God. He's like saying, oh, Edith, how can you say that? I mean, with an angel like you in the flesh, there has to be a God. You're one of the nicest person I ever did know. That's why I married you. That's for one reason why I married you. They said, oh, Archie, whereas he supposed to have renewed her faith not only in man at that given moment, but in God. So I'm having to put up with a whole lot of crazy F and B that's come from this one neighbor. I know y'all sick and tired of hearing about this neighbor. Yeah, why don't you just put them in a spaceship and blast them off to the moon? Don't think that I wouldn't wish that I could. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like the, what do you call it? Be gone. The space alien, great alien, evil alien from outer space, you shall see no more. Bum, 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 bum. Look, Moses, the Martians from outer space. The Martians you see now, a certain neighbor from hell, you will see no more. Boom, boom. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been cussing and swearing like a drunken sailor. But this is where I'm at now, at the moment. Same neighbor. Trying to drive me completely bonkers. Trying to destroy my peace of mind completely. Attempting to bring on feelings once again of suicide and homicide. Because he wants to act like a crazy ass effing idiot. I can mention creep. Stuck on stupid, with a demon possessed faggoty, possibly worse yet, called the faggot itself. Then I'm gonna bring this here to a close, y'all. All right. And by just simply saying, as I would usually give the closing as well as the intro and speak upon some such matters. Whatever could come to mind, be able to speak upon one subject matter or a couple people for the matter. If you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I would hope that you would think to do so now while the blood still running warm in your veins, by recognizing and realizing what he himself had done on the cross of Calvary so that you can go to heaven and have to end up in the lake of fire down here. Y'all take care. Peace.